Welcome to WSYK number 16, What Should You Know? I'm Ethan Block, and what should you know? What should you know? You're watching What Should You Know? Because let's be honest, what should you know? So someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, you know about terrorism? This is what you should say. Of course I know about terrorism. Are you serious? It's the 21st century and you're talking about the thing that for the last 8 years our president has been telling us is the largest threat to the sovereignty of the United States. See, terrorism only works if you become terrified. And unfortunately, since the devastatingly tragic events which took place on September 11, 2001, the citizens of the world's lone superpower have been terrified. It should be noted, however, that since September 11th, there has not been a single terrorist attack on the U.S. homeland. Furthermore, there have only been a couple large-scale terrorist attacks on any Western countries. The Madrid train bombings on March 11, 2004, as well as the London 2 bombings on July 7, 2005, both of which are totally unrelated to each other or September 11th and were not executed by Osama bin Laden's al-qaeda, but rather got inspiration from al-qaeda. Even though it seems like we're living in a constant state of fear and terrorist activity, in reality, the world is safer today than at any other point in human civilization's history. Now you may be saying to yourself, what? I roll to the airport, I'm like, hey, what's the threat level? And they're like, orange, may not want to go outside today. And you watch, TV, read the paper, and you're like, there's stuff going on everywhere. It seems like the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Even though it's the safest point in human civilization's history, it is also the most technologically advanced, meaning that information travels at the speed of light. So when a suicide bomber blows himself up in a city 6,000 miles away and kills 10 people, winds up being on the front page of the New York Times, helping feed the fear of the West. It should also be noted right now, you should learn this, that there is no unified terrorist organization which is purporting and executing all these locally organized terrorist attacks. The attacks in Egypt, in Jordan, in Iraq are not from one unified terrorist organization, but rather from hundreds of different locally organized gangs. Just like we have in LA, the Bloods, the Crips, the 18th Street gangs, which has membership of 20,000 and maybe a bit more threatening than these locally organized terrorist groups 6,000 miles away. Staring into the face of the Great Depression, a strengthening fascist Nazi Germany, a strengthening communist Soviet Union, a strengthening imperialistic Japan, and a crumbling of the Western European democracies, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said to the American people at his inaugural presidential address in 1933, "Only thing we have to fear is fear itself," end quote. Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda, since September 11th, has been responsible for little more than a few YouTube videos. Terrorism only works if you become terrified. That's what I know about terrorism. This has been another episode of WSYK, What Should You Know? I'm Ethan Block, and what should you know? What should you know? You're watching What Should You Know? Because let's be honest, what should you know?